Namaste. The divine in me, the light in me, acknowledges the light in each of you. Thank you so much for coming. What a wonderful group. People we know and people I don't know personally, and here you all are, attracted to the light of a sacred space. So it feels all goosebumpy for me, actually. My name is Swami Lalitananda, and first of all, I would like to acknowledge that we are on the territory of the First Nations people, the indigenous people of this area, which here at the ashram is the Yakanuki and the Tunaha bands, as well as the Sinaiaks. And we're grateful for being on the unceded ancestral territory, and just take a moment to feel how beautiful the land is, this space, the forest, the lake, the mountains. So they appreciated it, and they still appreciate it, and so do we, and we're doing our best to have good stewardship of this land. So we're grateful for this place. And I would like to talk about just a little bit to give you a bit of background about the Temple of Light. Swami Radha was the founder of the ashram, and she came here in 1963, and she was holding this vision of a temple in her mind, a little round temple of light, where she imagined people from all different traditions coming together. And instead of having conflict and focusing on differences, each path was respected. And then when we got into the temple, the light at the center that was showering down from the skylight symbolized that place where we all meet in unity. And really, when she opened the first temple in 1992, she said it's that the place of light is the place of love. And so I think we can all understand that love is the common element, and that if we can really be respectful of each other. The ravens have been here all along, so if we can respect each other and each other's beliefs and traditions and welcome each other in that place of openness and recognition that we're all human and that we all have sacredness within us, we have different ways of expressing it, and we respect those ways, but we can come together in the light. So that's really what the temple is about. Swami Radha had that vision, and in 1967, the foundation for this temple was built. And in 1992, the very first temple was completed, and we celebrated that. And then 4 years ago, after having our temple for 22 years, we had a fire, and our temple was destroyed in the fire. And I would like to acknowledge the Riandel Volunteer Fire Department and the ambulance service for their really, sorry. Yeah. So we really loved our first temple, and so appreciated the people who came and helped. There's so many people, so thank you all. Then we had the opportunity to start again. So to hold that vision of Swami Radha, to say, actually, we need to keep that vision, even if the times are changing, and especially because the times are changing. There's so much division in the world, so much people keeping people out and fighting and separating. So we needed a place to remind us to come together. So we went ahead and started this experimental building that has turned into this beautiful temple of light, this flower that you're going to be entering into today officially, the first people who officially enter, even though we've had lots of wonderful ceremonies already. Alvin Dunick's memorial was held here, and we had some beautiful choirs here last weekend. But today we're going to have a bunch of other things, some famous VIP people saying a few words, and I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to do the thing. the celebratory, victorious, happy moment, joyful victory. We're all here together to open this temple thing, which is crossing the threshold. Thank you to Janet Bolus for the beautiful scissors. Thank you to Sarah Torrey for the beautiful super ribbon. So the Temple of Light is now open. And I'm going to turn it over to Rebecca Dale, our MC, to describe the logistical part of the next thing. Thank you.
Okay, so is this working? Oh, great. Hi. So for the next part, we're going to move into the temple. But if you turn your head and look around, you'll notice that there are a lot of people here. So everyone is not going to fit inside. We have an excellent sound system, so everyone's going to be able to hear everyone, even if you're outside. You're welcome to be on the balcony. And some people have reserved seats, so you can come in. The temple is a shoe-free zone, so once you get in, you'll see that there's a lot of space for you to leave your shoes, and there'll be some ushers who can help take you in. There's going to be some speeches and a dance performance, which will be offered twice. So if you're not inside the first time, you are welcome to come in for the second offering of the dance. And before, I think that those are mainly the logistical things to know. We're going to do a short practice before we go into the temple so that you can enter with that connection to your own sacred space. So if everyone feels clear on the logistics, we're going to do that. So if you can all just close your eyes for a moment and really connect with your feet on the ground. Swami Litananda was talking about the sacredness of this land. So taking a moment to feel it and bring your awareness to your breath and inhaling deeply and exhaling fully. And taking a couple more breaths. Connecting with that sacred part in yourself. And we'll move into the temple, maintaining that sacred connection with ourselves. You know where you're heading? I will take you. Yeah, like my feet over there. Okay. Okay, so I think you're walking. You can. It's so beautiful. Here. You're welcome. She's not talking. She's not talking. Please, Matt and I have to sit up. No. Okay, got it. Can you sit here? That's fine. Gary, can you sit here? Okay. Perfect, thank you. To come anytime. When you need a break from all of us in Nelson, just stop by. Oh, please, take a seat. But you don't have to. Appreciate it. You sit, Gary. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Your chair. You're sitting beside Lily Linda. Is that how you want to do it?
Well, now we're sitting, I have to sit here because I have to keep getting up like yo-yo. Ding, 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 ding. Wow, that was fantastic. Everyone just became quiet. So this space kind of does have that effect. It's incredibly beautiful. And we're so happy, as Litananda said, to have you all here in this space sharing it with us as it is meant to be shared. And we're going to have the opportunity to hear a few words from some of our local supporters. And so the first is Gina Medhurst, and she is the president, as I said earlier, of the Kootenay Lake Chamber of Commerce. And she's actually a local resident. She grew up in this area, and she's a co-owner of the Kootenay Forge, which if you haven't all been to, you should definitely check it out. They make great things. It's in Crawford Bay, with her husband Corey, who's the local fire chief. And they have made a family business into a local success. So she is here to offer us a few words.
Thank you. What a beautiful space. I've had the opportunity to be in here prior to this as well, and every time I walk in here, it's stunning. It takes my breath away. So, community comes from the Latin word communitas, the collective spirit of the people. So, the ashram here, I came here when I was 14 for a week-long teen retreat. Never been here before. I did grow up in Crawford Bay, but the connection that I instantly felt when I came to this piece of property was amazing. So I've never forgotten that. And here I am, standing here again today. So many things when it comes to community, the ashram and the community itself. Financial donations, of course, are wonderful, but more importantly, there has been many in-time donations offered and received. School meditation classes, volunteering with the Randall Fire Department, making and delivering food for locals that need it. Employment, space for meetings, performances, and celebrations. Part of this also, the community, as we can see, returns every year for the Strawberry Social and for many other functions. So it's really this idea and this creation and reality of the Temple of Light for all of us to come here back to circle to the center of where this original idea had become from is pretty amazing. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Gina. So next we're going to hear from Gary Jackman, who is the Director of Area A of the RDCK, and he is a long-term resident of British Columbia, and he's worked as a contractor and consultant throughout the province. He has been a dedicated volunteer through the years since arriving in 1997 with his wife Tina and 3 children. And we're really grateful for all the work that he has done for the local area on behalf of local residents and the support that he has offered to us at the ashram. So I'd like to welcome him.
And the lesson there is don't volunteer too much because you might get elected and then you're really in for it. So I said to Gina earlier that we're going to end up talking about the same thing one way or another, and it is community. And our communities throughout the region are not large, according to the federal government, which of course we have our rep here, that, small communities are, the small communities, we don't even meet that measure. But you realize at these gatherings that we have a very strong sense of community. And events like this draw us together from time to time and routinely, and I appreciate that there's always something you can look forward to, that you'll meet friends you might not see on the ferry or at other events and stuff like that. But work in our community goes on, of course, all year round, and it's not just preparation for events like this, it is so much more. And I wanted to touch very briefly on that in the last few years in particular, members of the ashram have been very involved in our greater community on several projects. They've been, I feel, very important in our agricultural and Fields Forward project, for one, and helping to us establish the Regional District Food Policy Council. They've been very active in our Enhanced Tourism project, helping us connect with businesses, societies, various organizations. And all of that also ties into a much larger project or initiative we have around resident attraction, because we do need more of these little people, younger people, families. We need to keep our school alive and vibrant, and we need to work on that. We need to show people what we have and why they should, or how they could live here. And to do that, we need to knit together. We need to share our customers, our clients, our visitors, our friends, and make sure people appreciate the area. And maybe they'll decide that they too can move here with a young family, as I did 21 years ago. So, in addition to working with all of these groups and local projects, this has also been a great venue for, I feel, important organizations like Friends of Kootenay Lake, who support our Kootenay Lake Partnership initiatives by providing a venue to gather in really in the perfect location for those kind of events. And the organization here has been a leader in sustainability and energy efficiency, and that will become more important year over year to us as well. So in addition to working with local government, working with others, they're showing their own leadership. So really, my basic message is thank you, everyone at the Ashram, for sponsoring events such as this, but also thank you for all the work you do behind the scenes that most people probably don't recognize or realize that is very important to our community.
Thank you. And I think the same can be said for the RDCK, because we often don't know what you guys are doing, but you definitely do so many things that help us. And so the last speaker that I'd like to introduce, I had everyone read over their things, and Terry had sent them to them, and I asked if there was anything else that he wanted me to add. And he actually did have something that he wanted me to add, which is that, so this is Wayne Stetsky, who is the Member of Parliament for Kootenay and Columbia. And he wanted to say that this year he's celebrating his 40th wedding anniversary. So congratulations. He also wanted to point out that public service, he prefers to be known as a public servant, because service is integral to what he does rather than a politician, which is understandable. And so he used to be the mayor of Cranbrook and the Kootenay regional manager for the BC Ministry of the Environment. And a lot of his life has been focused on environmental leadership, which is something that we strongly support here at the Ashram as well. And he and his wife, Audrey, have lived in Cranbrook for over 25 years. Maybe, Audrey, you should just stand up and receive accolades for 40 years of marriage. That's pretty fantastic. So he's going to say a few words now.
I'll stand over here. I bring you greetings from Canada's House of Parliament. I arrived back from Ottawa last night, and it is just such a wonderful opportunity to kick off summer in the riding right here at the Ashram. It's an honor to serve you every day as your Member of Parliament. You know, a couple of weeks ago, my brother and his wife and Audrey were in Ottawa, and we visited the War Museum. And if you haven't, how many of you have been to the War Museum in Ottawa? It's quite a record of our history and our participation in world wars. But when I came out of there, I had only one thought. And that thought is, why can't we learn to get along? When you're in Parliament, you hear about every new war that has started, every refugee crisis that's happening around the world, and the world's in a lot of trouble. We're so lucky to live where we do. But if I had one wish, it would be to take the caring, the welcoming of diversity, the love that you see all the time, every time you come to the ashram here, and if we could spread that all over the world, we would have a much better world. So I want to thank you for your love and for your light and for your willingness to share that with us. And if you have one prayer, it would be to spread what you find here at the ashram around the rest of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. And I think Wayne touches on a really key point, which is the connection to love and the connection to our heart. And that's something that has, in my time at the ashram, I've really learned to explore a lot. And I have learned an incredible amount about it. And I'm sure you're all continuing to learn more about your own hearts and your connection with love in one another. And one of the ways that I have learned a lot about that topic here is through dance. And dance has been a very integral part of the ashram. Swami Radha, who founded the ashram, dance had a very important place in her heart, and she learned a lot of Indian classical dances when she was with her guru, Swami Shivananda, in Rishikesh. Actually, she was in Dehradun when she learned many of the dances, but we wanted to acknowledge that connection with community and with dance, and we have invited Slava's dance fusion team to come and offer a dance for us. So Slava Dorval, they're the dance fusion, they are from Nelson, so there are many young dancers, and they're here to dedicate the space, and they're all very dedicated to building a better world for future generations. So Dance Fusion is one of Nelson's largest schools. They have 7 instructors and over 250 students, offering acro, ballet, jazz, contemporary, hip-hop, tap, musical theater, and many other types of dance. And Slava actually grew up here in Crawford Bay and in Ryandell, and she credits the temple dancing at the ashram as a formative experience in her development and understanding that dance can be a sacred art and that it can be a way to speak to the spirit and a way for words in a way that words often fail to do. And so she's currently the cultural ambassador in Nelson, and this is a testament to her skill and commitment to give back. So we would like to welcome her as well as her dancers.
Thank you so much for the invite to be here. Thank you from all the residents of the ashram. It's an honor, and being asked to be a part of this special event really touches my heart, and it has a huge impact on the youth of our region. We are also at our school very community-minded, so this is a beautiful place to share that on almost the first day of summer. We're going to do 4 songs, and the first song is called Color Song, and the artist is Maggie Rogers, and she wrote each song on her album. They're you can hear crickets in the background. I think she lives maybe somewhere up north, and each one had a song, a color as the intention, and this one was indigo. And I'm going to just read you a couple words from the poem because it's a little hard to hear with singing sometimes exactly what is being said, but if you look up the song Color Song by Maggie Rogers, you can also read it and hear it's like poetry. And so the first dance is we're aiming to have visual poetry kind of expressing the words. Now that the light is fading, silver and purple at twilight, scenes of the day remain with us. Bright as the fire is burning bright, blue as the sky above the lake, and blue the water flowing. White birch drooping on the shore, her leaves of emerald glowing. The night is robed in spangled black, and soon we shall be sleeping. Beyond the moon that rides on high, the radiant dawn is creeping, creeping. Down through the leaves, the sunlight came in shafts of gold. Now by the dying embers, we watched the day grow old. I'd like to welcome the Color Song group on, it's not quite a stage.
at twilight. Scenes of the day remain with us, bright as the fire is burning bright. Blue as the sky above the lake, and blue the water flowing. White birds drooping on the shore, her leaves of emerald glowing. The night is robed in spangled black, and soon we shall be sleeping. Beyond the moon that rides on high, the radiant dawn is creeping, creeping. Down through the leaves the sunlight came in shafts of gold. Now by the dying embers we watch the day grow old.
Down the sea, oh red dawn, oh red foam, I'm caught up in the sea, all in the sea, oh red foam, oh red foam.
quite a few of our dancers are bordering on what's called the younger core youth group, and that really long, awkward times I told them they'd be facing a wall. And then it was like, oh, hi guys. I was like, you're gonna be doing this for a long time? They came to the backstage, they're like, just so you know, there's a bunch of people on that balcony. Not that one, that one. It's like, welcome to showbiz. So, it was good. You guys got a special jazz hands moment. And just in this moment, I wanted to further talk about how my experience at the ashram, getting to walk down that country road before there was the road that there is now. How many people remember that road? Yeah, that was the road. It was such a sweet road. And I used to get dropped off at the bus with Joanna Joanna Wallace and go down this really long road and come to the temple to do the temple dance. And I just remember the move of the casting the rose petals, which is this one. You have rose petals in one palm, and then you're walking and you're lighting the way for others with casting these rose petals, which feels like what the temple and all the youth programs really is like sprinkling some rose petals, peonies along the way, so much attention to so many beautiful bits of detail at the ashram. So I think, and also having to the opportunity to spend time here as a youth at the teen program also is very impactful. So I feel very grateful for this community and for the community at large and the intermingling and weaving of the two. So thank you so much for having us. I think we will be doing it one more time if there's other people as well, or if you were at the back and you just want a front row seat. So hang around or come and talk to us. I think that's it. Are we ready back there? Yeah. All right, Dancergeist. And this is by a composer called Philip Coulter. So we don't have a program, but sometimes, you can always email me if you want names of songs.
thank you so much for the beautiful performance. One of the things about dance is that you have to remember whatever and so that kind of concentration that requires is very similar to the kind of concentration it requires to meditate. It's like a standing kind of meditation. So thank you for doing that practice with us. And we're coming to the close of this part of our celebration. And Swami Litananda is going to say a few words.
I just want to say thank you. And I think from the sound of our applause, how much appreciation we have for those young people, for their dedication. And it's just wonderful to see the young people here today. So this temple and this place is really meant for generations. There's a lot of us here who are super happy if young ones are coming in. Thank you very much. You can drop in and feel the space. So, namaste. And I believe the next performance is at 3:45.